Hello everyone and welcome to the Complete Sports Updates. This is the show where the latest and trending stories in the world of sports are brought to you. My name is Abib Kuranga. Now, our guest for today is Adeboye Amosu. Together we shall be taking through the rounds as far as complete stories in today's episode is concerned. Welcome to the show, boy, and how are you doing today?
Thank you, I'm good.
It's always feel good to be back on the Complete Sports Updates. The Super Eagles of Nigeria are set for an international friendly match against Russia following their success in the 2025 Unity Cup. Coach Chelle's side will be aiming for another much more morale boosting victory ahead of their remaining matches in the 2025 in the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. So, boy, the Super Eagles of Nigeria. First off, let's take a look at the games that they played in the Unity Cup. First against Ghana, where they won 2-1 before playing out a 2-0 draw against Jamaica in the final of the Unity Cup, and eventually they won 5-4 on a penalty shootout. So, what do you have to say about the Super Eagles of Nigeria's game in the Unity Cup?
Well, it was a good testing ground for Coach Chelle. You know, it was an opportunity for him to see some new guys, some new players, especially from the MPFL, and those guys that have been doing well for their respective club side, who majority of the fans have been clamoring for them to be invited to the national team. So just like I said earlier, it was an opportunity for the coach to see these guys, and I think some of them really did well in the two matches. For the right back, the Remo Stars right back, Sadiq Ismail, we all know his pedigree in the local league. Well, I will say for him, he need to really step up, because if you look at his performance in the second game against Jamaica, he didn't really cover himself in glory. Yeah. Then you look at the centre back guys. You talk about Igor Ubu and Benjamin Frederick. Frederick was granted a late invitation to the team due to the late arrival of the guy from Getafe, that's Chris Santos Ewushi. He really did well against the Jamaicans. For me, the central the defenders, if you look at Shemi Ajayi, you look at Trustekong, these are guys who are over 30s, and you begin to think that the coach needs to at least bring new blood into the team, because these guys, they have like 3-4 years left with the team. In the midfield, we saw Papa Daniel, we saw the Deserts, at least showing what they can do in attack. He scored a goal against Ghana and provided an assist against Jamaica. So overall and good, it was a good outing for the Super Eagles. You all believe that going forward, especially in the friendly against Russia, they can continue their impressive winning run.
So talking about the Rangers are forward. 5 years now when he got his debut for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and he hasn't really played a competitive match actually. Talking about AFCON as well as the qualification matches, both in the African Cup of Nations as well as the World Cup right there. So this guy against Ghana at first, he scored. Also against Jamaica, he provided an assist. And people have been clamoring for him even before these two matches. So do you think we should see more of Cyriel in Super Eagles colors?
Well, I think he has done enough to at least to get probably made his competitive debut for the Super Eagles, because if you look at the guys who have been constantly invited to the team, you talk about someone like Future Boniface, for example. He has done well at the club level, but since he has made his debut for the Super Eagles, he has not really shown he has what it takes to perform at the international level. Desert has 4 goals in 7 outings for the Super Eagles, friendly games. So I think for the World Cup qualifiers, if he can maintain his impressive form at the club level, September is still far away, he should be part of the team.
Okay, so now let's move to the game against Russia on Friday. This will actually be the first time both teams will actually be meeting on as far as the senior teams are concerned. And looking at these two teams, Russia are actually going all gun blazing as regards to their form. They've actually played 11 matches in the friendlies, and they've actually not lost any, winning their last 8 without considering any, compared to Nigeria, with a mixed results so far. So Looking at these two teams, let's hear your thoughts about the two sides.
Well, for me, friendly is all about you testing new players, testing new tactics, discovering how your team can play, especially when it comes to competitive game. If you look at the Super Eagles squad for this game, you could see that a lot of guys have pulled out of the game because of personal commitments and injuries.
Yeah.
So for those guys that made impact in the Unity Cup, it's an opportunity for them to, the level will be higher now. The Russian national team to have a lot of quality players in their team. So it's a blessing in disguise, even if they end up losing the game. For me, the most important thing is for those guys to really show that they can really measure up to standard at the international level. I said earlier when we were talking about the Unity Cup, the central defenders, those guys have, you talk about Stepan, talking about the fact that he has probably the next AFCON will be his last with the team. So we need young guys to take over from these guys. These are an opportunity for those guys to show that they can really play for the Super Eagles and they have what it takes to shine at the international level.
Yeah, definitely. This is the perfect time for the players to show that they have all it takes, the quality, the passion, and everything as far as representing the Super Eagles is concerned. And we do hope that these players will live up to expectations and that take this chance to be the one that will make them propel as far as the national team is concerned. Thank you very much, Aboy, for the wonderful and insightful analysis.
Welcome.
On Complete Sports Update. Viewers, this is Rob, the wrapping things up as far as proceedings in today's episode is concerned. We take care of yourselves and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.